my client is not the actual youth that I'm serving. My client is my staff. And that's who I'm here to take care of, so that they can then take care of the youth in front of them. We served over 1,200 youth last year, last fiscal year. So our fiscal year runs, we're in the middle of fiscal year 26 right now, but a little over 1,200 youth last year. And we're on trajectory to serve even more than that this year. The second I started using things like ChatGPT, my life got so much easier. I can throw a resume in and be like, write me a short bio, so that I can throw that into my grant application, right?
Yep.
It takes the AI 30 seconds to do that, where if I had to do it, it takes time, right? Like, it's a resource that we can utilize to be able to better use our time and resource, if that makes sense. The other pieces in the nonprofit world are, you got to be really careful what you use AI for, because you've got a lot of personal client information that is protected. And once you put it into a system, do you get it back? Where does it store? We want homelessness to be brief and non-reoccurring. We don't want you to be here. As much as we love serving our youth, we would love it to end if we could make it all stop.
Welcome back to another episode here on the Hart and Hustle podcast. Been a long time. We spent Christmas away. We spent New Year's away, but we're back here with another founder in Liz. How are you doing today, madam?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for asking. How are you?
Oh, I'm excited. I mean, 2026 is here. I feel like time is definitely flying by, and I'm just getting a little older. I'm turning 36 this year, Liz. Isn't that old?
No.
No, still young.
Nope, I got you beat, and I don't feel old. So if I don't feel old, you can't be old either.
I don't. I definitely try to take care of myself. So, Liz, tell people, what organization do you represent? What is the title?
Yeah, absolutely. So I work for Covenant House, Alaska. We are a homeless services provider, but do so much more than just that. Founded as a just emergency shelter, but we have expanded through the years, and our reach really goes way beyond, goes from prevention through restoration on the back end, really just ensuring success for our young people here in Anchorage, Alaska.
I love that. Alaska. Born and raised? Like, how did you get there?
Yeah, so I was born in a small town in Wisconsin, lived there until I was about 4. My mom she's retired now, but a pediatrics nurse, and she was recruited by one of the hospitals here and brought up, and they said they'd stay for 2-year commitment and then never left. Here we are. Yeah.
I love it. And is there like something that people say about Alaska that is not true?
I mean, you hear all the stereotypes of people live in igloos and we all have a dog sled. I live in Anchorage. We have like 350,000 people in the city, and I have a house on the west side. Like, it's a city like any other city. We call it kind of the big small town. Everybody knows everybody for the most part. If you've lived here for a while, there's a connection somewhere. But we're a great community of people who help each other out and look out for each other and make sure that we're all safe and happy and successful. So
I think this is where your location, like, you guys have like dark so many months. Is that correct? Am I tripping here?
Sort of. So it depends. The farther up north you get into Alaska, the sun will set in one of the fall winter months. Winter for us, I know winter in most places starts in December. We are long into winter by December. But here in Anchorage, at the shortest days, we get 6-7 hours of daylight. But in the reality of that is, if you work in an office building with no windows, you go to work when it's dark and you leave when it's dark. So you gotta get outside and enjoy the sunshine when you can. But the flip is true for the summers. The most beautiful place in the world to live. We have pretty much daylight 24/7 right around summer solstice.
Really?
The sun sets, but it's not dark. It's like that kind of twilighty.
And it
so
stays
you
like
can
that?
still see it over the mountains. So it's beautiful.
Wow. Yeah, it's crazy that people. So is it still, probably cold for you guys? So when I was in South Africa, their Christmas was actually during summertime.
Yeah.
That's, their summertime at least. And I'm like, so weird. So you guys really don't have a Christmas. So everything you've seen on American TV of, like, Home Alone, you don't even know what that really is, because when it's cold, when it's
That's not their
winter for you,
reality.
it's hot.
Yeah. But I think that about places like Florida. Like, I don't
Yeah,
know what it's like to not have snow at Christmas time. It's always been snowy everywhere I've been.
true.
So it's okay.
Christmas time for us, and I think it was maybe this year, was a beautiful day, like in the 80s. I mean, you go definitely go out in some shorts and a shirt, and even when it's like cold, it's cold. But I
Hmm.
also went up to New York and realized what cold was.
Hmm. Yep.
Oh my God, it's not cold here.
It's all relative depending on what you're used to, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah. So let's kind of go back. How did your early experiences with family caregiving after your father's death? You kind of mentioned that to me on the first conversation. I think your grandfather's stroke was, well, if I'm not mistaken, shape your view of healthcare.
yeah. So my father is not dead. My father had a lot of medical challenges,
Oh my God,
but
where did I get that from?
um, I grew up in a really wonderful, intact family who really raised me and my sisters with very selfless values. Really trying to give back, connect to community, and figure out how we care for each other. Again, my mother was a pediatrics nurse. My father worked in a factory in manufacturing pretty much his whole
Uh-huh.
career. But I watched them work tirelessly, one to provide for us,
Hmm.
but then also to give back to the people around them, and just make sure that we're caring for others. Some of my earliest memories is my dad, going out when he'll shovel our driveway or use a snowblower for our driveway and doing the next door neighbor's driveway, not because he had to, but because he was already out there,
Yeah.
and making sure that the little things to create that community and to care for others was really instilled. It was wonderful, right? Like it really shaped me and guided me into the career path I have taken in my adult
And
life.
that's not what you always started, right? I could imagine there was other things you were doing prior to that. Is there any work that you were doing prior to this?
Yeah, interesting enough, I started in restaurant management while I was getting my bachelor's degree. I got my
Yeah.
bachelor's degree in criminal justice and thought for sure I was going into law enforcement. But my senior year in college, I took a job as a relief worker at a domestic violence shelter here in Anchorage and fell in love with the work. I fell in love with being able to make impact and change with the clients. And then went on to take a full time position at that same agency as a children's advocate, and it's where I really learned that that's my area, right? Like it is children and youth. It shaped everything. And then I met my amazing husband. We got married, and a few days after our wedding, we moved to Tennessee so that he could pursue his degree. And so I jumped into another domestic violence shelter, and it's that agency that really taught me that who you work for matters. Again, the community
Mm.
that you create, making sure that you have a strong foundation of leadership to make sure that you are creating a culture that people want to be in. So unfortunately, that job did not work out so well. I burnt out real quick. But amazingly, it led me into working in the foster care system in
Okay.
Tennessee. And that was just an immense passion for me. Traveled from Tennessee to New York City, where we lived for the better part of a decade, and started again in the foster care world and worked in a therapeutic foster care agency, and then moved on to working in a prevention agency. So they do preventive foster care services. So working with the most high risk population in the New York City foster care system. So those with mental health, substance use disorder within the family. So either the children or youth or the parents. And really engaging hard with that community to ensure that their children weren't removed and placed into the foster care system. Um,
It's funny when you said you learned that who you work for matters. I thought you were going to tell me like a positive, but then you
oh,
end up with like, and I left it really quickly, and I'm like, wait a minute, like I thought this was a good thing, but no, for real, it does. Who you
it
work for
does.
does matter. Like,
Mhm.
you could really be really passionate and have this. You mentioned passion so many times, right? I can imagine have this purpose, but if there's a wrong leader, the values don't align. That you just doesn't feel good to come to work anymore. It feels
Right.
like more of a job. It feels more of a headache. So
Yeah.
when you can align with people that just have that same mindset, 100%, it's
Yeah.
a good thing. I'm kind of in the space of building that around my organization. it's an organization that's been around for so long, and the people have been doing the same exact things for so long, and they don't want to change. And it's like pulling teeth,
Mhm.
at times. And it's like, wait
Yeah.
a minute, I don't need to be dealing with this. Like, I need
Yeah,
to go do. So that's cool.
it's interesting though because um, it helped to shape me. Well, a negative. Sorry to throw the negative out there, but it helped to shape me into the leader I am at
Yeah.
kind of place in life. Right. I went on in New York to run that intervention program, the early intervention program there, and it mattered. You have to show up. You have to be present every day. They have to see your face. You can't just be somebody who sends the email and dictates what to do. It matters the kind of leader you are and the culture you create within the department to keep amazing staff, right? The work is hard. It is hard work every day. And it's heart work every day, right? Like you're invested in it. So if you don't have a team from top down that is supporting you and really there to ensure that your needs are being met, uh, you'll fail out. I had a supervisor early in my career in New York who taught me that my client is not the actual youth that I'm serving. My client is my staff. And that's who
Mm,
I'm here to take care of so that they
true.
can then take care of the youth in front of them.
Yeah.
And I've lived that mentality ever since. I
It's
have
like
to take care
having
of my team.
it's like having the internal and the external client. Your internal
Right.
client obviously is a staff.
Yeah.
Not that you don't help the external, but it's
Correct.
definitely, yeah, there's an internal and external, the way that we communicate. What does that look like communication wise for your team internal? Like how many of you guys are actually internal?
Yeah. So I oversee five different programs in our agency. So a wide range of staffing
Yeah.
structures from our transitional living programs to all the way through our independent housing programs within our continuum here at Covenant House, Alaska. Um, I don't have that many, I would say, direct reports. I only have three direct reports, but
Okay.
I treat their team as well, just the same as it is my direct
Yeah.
team.
Mhm.
I make a point to try to work from each of my sites at least once a week so that I'm present and there, so that you're not so disconnected from the day to day and you're able to
Yeah, yeah.
help out where needed.
That's a good leader. You don't just find one home and stick there. How far away from each other are they?
Fortunately, Anchorage is not that big,
Oh yeah,
so
yeah,
it's not. And well, I chuckle because again, I lived in New York City for a while, and while New York City isn't technically that big, mile distance, it takes you forever to get places.
yeah.
Anchorage is not that way. So fortunately, my farthest program will take me about a 15-20 minute drive on a bad
Okay,
day.
not bad, not bad.
My closest is like 4 blocks down the road. So we're all just
Oh,
right together.
yeah,
We
yeah,
have a
yeah. No,
main
that's good.
campus in downtown Anchorage that holds our emergency shelter and then two of the programs that I oversee. So that is kind of where I try to spend a chunk of my time because there's two of them there. But I love our satellite offices. I love our teams that we've created. There's kind of individual culture in each building.
Mhm.
So it's fun.
What so in a space of communication, like and there's resources and knowledge because Liz, you've been in so many different spaces. You kind of gave us a trajectory of your career, and it was always helping people. It was always getting people the resources, always getting that knowledge. Where are we today on sharing knowledge? Do you think that we're still in a space where resources, especially with AI, it is our fingertips and maybe not utilized the way that we need to? Like, what does that look like? I feel like the help is there. People just don't know where to receive it.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think that for a long time there was a almost competition mindset
Mm,
of this is my resource and I don't want to share it and I don't want to give it to others because if I do, I'll run out. And I think where the shift for me in the last I don't know 5 years or so here in Anchorage is has really been this community feel of resource where it's like, yeah, this is my resource, but if you need it, I can share it with you. Because at the end of the day, we're not in competition with each other, right? We are all trying to serve somebody, whether that
correct.
is us serving the population, the 13 to 24 year olds, whether it's an adult homeless services provider. We're all here to do the same work. We're not in competition with each other. I mean, on paper, we might be in competition with each other because we're all going after the same funding streams, but I do think that there is some, whether it is a lack of knowledge or understanding of the community resource. I think AI specifically scares people at times, and trying to figure out how to navigate that in a way that doesn't feel like it's taking away from the human interaction or the human
Mhm.
experience. The other pieces in the nonprofit world are you got to be really careful what you use AI for, because you've got a lot of personal client information that is protected. And once you put it into a system, do you get it back? Where does it store? All of those
Yeah.
things to make sure that we're being responsible with the information for the young people that we serve.
If you're enjoying the podcast, we first want to say thank you. And we also just want to give you a little insight of what we're up to at Francis. Some don't even realize that we're working with organizations to help them use AI to create that real human communication experiences, where that's actually supporting your families, those patients, or the entire community. We're actually creating tech that connects. Check it out, francis.ai. Have you tapped in? Are you specifically tapped into AI? What are your thoughts on it?
I'm not the expert in any of that. I will admittedly say. However, the second I started using things like ChatGPT, my life got so much easier. I can throw a resume in and be like, write me a short bio so that I can throw that into my grant application, right?
Yeah.
It takes the AI 30 seconds to do that, where if I had to do it, it takes time, right? Like it's a resource that we can utilize to be
Yep.
able to better use our time and resource, if that makes sense.
I was literally just telling before I jump on this call. I was telling one of my team members that I was like, "Listen, this is your best friend. To be quite
Mhm.
frank, you have to just learn how to use him because garbage in, garbage out as well. And it's not cheating. It's allowing you to be more creative. It's allowing you to be more efficient. And to me, I think do more of the things that you love, right?
Yeah,
Because now you're buying back time than
yeah.
the things that you do not like. Something as having to sit here and create a bio. Like, we don't love writing about ourselves, but we can, sit here and here, here, give us a bio. Oh, it looks good. I'll take that, right? It saves us so much time. It saves a headache. So I love that you guys are in the space or you at least specifically. Is the organization using AI at any level or
Not as much as
more personal?
I shouldn't say that. I don't know that so well, but probably no more than I am. Trying to make sure that we are being cautious
Gotcha.
in what we plug into some systems.
So there's a Covenant House. Is this just something that's local to you guys? Is this global?
No, yeah. So Covenant House is part of Covenant House Alaska is part of a federation, Covenant House International.
Oh,
There are a little over 30, I think 34 sites
wow.
across North America, so Canada, United States, and then into Latin America as well. Covenant House as a federation was founded in the 70s, 1971. We opened here in Anchorage in 1988, and have just continued to grow and expand what we're doing in the world of homeless services.
So do you still kind of connect with those that are in the
Yeah,
different
absolutely.
markets?
So because we're part of a federation, we are all connected. And what that means is, well, Covenant House International is sort of the parent agency, if you want to
Mhm.
look at it that way. It is the umbrella where all the other Covenant House sites fall underneath it.
Got
So
it.
we all have kind of guiding philosophies that we are aligned with. We have a set kind of core treatment model that every federation or every Covenant House across the federation follows. We all are reporting back to Covenant House International on what we're doing, what we're accomplishing, what our challenges are, and not in a way of, they're trying to watch you to make sure you're doing things correct, but
Mhm.
really in a community and how do we better what we're doing. Our international team is always wanting feedback, always wanting to know, the things that we've implemented, are they working? Does this system work for you? Does this data collection work for you? What are the glitches that you're finding, to make the practice better? It's a really great collaborative relationship, not even just with the international team, but across the federation. So we have tapped into resources that our Covenant House California
Mhm.
location has. They've got a trainer that is based out of South Africa. So she works during her normal daytime, but it's overnight hours for us, which is perfect because then we've got a trainer that comes on and is doing training for our overnight staff. And it's never been a competition. It's always been, yeah, you want to tap into that? Here's her name and email. I bet she'd do that for you. And it's just really great to have that collaborative um, atmosphere that international creates for us.
I love that. What does a day to day look like for you?
Oh, goodness gracious. It really depends. You know, a
A
lot of
good
my
day to
day,
day. A good
yeah,
day
a
to day.
lot of my day is email and is managing situations, people. The other side to it is that at the level that I am, within the organization. It is managing budgets. It is managing grant applications. It is making sure that we are responsible stewards of the resource that's been given to us and that we're utilizing those resources appropriately. It's making sure that, that the resources that our youth need are available to them. It is a lot of cross collaboration between our senior leadership team in making sure that we are all on the right track, that we are hitting our goals and targets, and just making sure that we're doing the best for the young people that ultimately we are serving as a whole. I love when my day to day gets thrown off slightly, and I walk through either a situation somewhere or walk into a room, and there's youth there that recognize me and they want to tell me all about their great day or the thing that happened to them, or the positive that's going on.
Yeah, yeah.
Those are always my favorites because I
I
don't
love
get
it.
those as much now in the role that I'm in. So
No, that is definitely the what fills your cup, right? Those
yeah,
moments
yeah.
they get to you for your cup, no, for sure.
Mhm.
That's always cool to be able to be in that space of just helping others. And when you talk about just them gathering or getting the resources they need, like how are they getting the resources? You mean like just home? Is it something that you guys give them pamphlets? Is it emails? Like how are we getting kids now the information that they need?
Yeah, so we have kind of different areas of focus here. So we have our emergency shelter where any youth in our age bracket can walk into and be able to access services on site right away. But we also have our street outreach team who is going out to try to find youth in our
Oh,
community
yeah.
who might either not know about the resources available to them or might need just a little bit of help to get to them. They're providing basic hygiene items. They're providing food. They're providing clothing. All of those things to the youth where they are. They're meeting them where they are. Additionally, our shelter services, if you walk in, you can get all of those services right there as well.
Mhm.
We have on site education and employment services where youth in our age bracket, whether experiencing homelessness or not, can walk into and gain access and be able to help be set onto a career pathway to really start that trajectory in the right direction for them. When it comes to resource delivery, essentially for our teams here, it is one size fits one, is our mentality. We don't know what you need until you tell us what you need, and we
Correct.
will find a way to provide for what you need. A lot of times that is at a transitional living level, which is what I start to oversee, is learning how to live independently. We take for granted that if you've raised in a home with somebody who has taught you these independent living skills, we take for granted that some people don't have those. So it is learning
Mhm.
how to do laundry, learning how to keep your room clean, learning how to cook, learning how to manage your finances, and really start them on the right trajectory. On my level, what that looks like is what grant management do I need to do? What grants am I writing? What foundations am I approaching? What relationships are we building so that our community understands the work we're doing and making sure that we are connecting our mission to the work that we do? Um,
Hard
it
work.
depends on the levels.
I'll tell you a crazy story. So you being that grant person, right? And just a person that really just understands where the what's best for business comes into play, I would say. I was used to work at a science center, met this guy, never really seen him, but I seen that he was kind of dressed down and we had a cleaning crew. So for some apparent reason, I thought, okay, maybe he might be a part of the cleaning crew. Just 'cause I'd never seen him, he just
Mhm.
looked a little dressed down. So he laughs and he's like, "No, I'm actually the reason you're here." And he was also the grant guy. And he's like, "I write grants and I do this and I do that." And I'm like, "Man, you can never judge a book by its cover
Yeah.
because you don't know what someone does." And then I got to see him in a board meeting, really suited up, really nice and sharp. And I'm like, "Oh my God." So moving, it goes back to you just never know where someone's at in their life
Yeah.
until you ask questions or they tell you. So
Yeah.
why not just have a conversation? It's okay to ask questions. That's how we learn.
Yeah.
So now I'm having a little bit more understanding of what role you play, a huge role within the organization and where it kind of goes ups and downs,
Yeah.
scaling wise. So
Our grant writers are amazing because I'll tell you again, talk about AI. I'll tell you, like I couldn't do it. I'd be utilizing AI like constantly.
yeah,
But they are phenomenal people. I'm grateful for what they can do because then it makes my job on the back end of managing that and making sure that
yeah,
I'm meeting the deliverables so much easier.
oh
Um,
yeah,
but yeah, it's
oh yeah. How many youth are you guys serving? Like 2025? Did you guys get that number on what you guys served for the year?
we served over 1,200 youth last year. last fiscal year. So our fiscal year runs, we're in the middle of fiscal year 26 right now, but a little over 1,200 youth last year. And we're on trajectory to serve even more than that this year. The kind of environment or the climate of youth homeless services continues to increase. The demand
Wow.
continues to increase. We see that in our adult population as well. To kind of put some perspective on it, Anchorage, Alaska has roughly the same unhoused population as Houston, Texas, but a fraction of the size of the population as a whole. So when you think
Wow.
about that, over 3,000 homeless or unhoused individuals here in Anchorage. So for us to say we've served roughly 1,200, we're on trajectory for 1,400 this fiscal year. In our age bracket of 13 to 24 is it's a pretty staggering statistic.
Wow.
And
Yeah,
it's
it is.
why Covenant House International, and as well as every other Covenant House across the Federation, have really focused on kind of our strategic plan of how are we minimizing and reducing homelessness, right? We want homelessness to be brief and non-reoccurring. We don't want you to be here. As much as we love serving
Mhm.
our youth, we would love it to end if we could make it all stop. And it's really investment. It's investment in what we reference as the journey home. And it talks about prevention services, so preventing homelessness from starting at all, to intervention and then to restoration, and making sure that
Mhm.
youth don't re-enter homeless services.
Liz, as you got so much more years ahead of you, but as you know that at some point you have to hang up your boots, you got to let someone else do the work, right?
Mhm.
Pass the baton per se. What do you want to leave behind when you know that this is all said and done for you at least?
Yeah, I again, I have a strong faith background, and I have stuck with the belief and kind of the hope that when I leave this world and I walk away, that I get to meet my maker, and he is proud of me for taking care of his children,
Mm-hmm.
right? I want to leave behind a legacy that giving back and taking care of others is the right path. I am a firm believer that our youth are the leaders of tomorrow, and it's all of our responsibility to make sure that they're successful. Otherwise, our community, our society will pay the consequence for that.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
No,
it's
I.
just it's been amazing to watch the journey of some of these youth and watch them come through some really difficult situations and experiences, and not only come out stronger on the other side, but come out as a thriving individual, a thriving adult. um, it's been
I
really
love it.
beautiful.
Obviously, I think we probably spoke a little bit of story, but that was me, an adopted child that statistically shouldn't be here.
Yeah,
But I'd love to go back and say, even though my mom had 10 kids and didn't raise her own kids, and my father had eight and didn't raise his kids, like, look where I end up today because one person decided she wanted to give back, which was
yeah,
my aunt. Four kids and adopted three, became a single mom of seven at 28 years old.
yeah.
Like when you talk about giving back, it doesn't always have to be at an organization level, right? It's
No.
those things. So when we talk about when people are still listening and people think it's a monetary thing that I got to give, 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 maybe financially. Liz, what other ways could they actually be giving back?
Yeah, I my husband has a favorite saying that says, "Everything in life costs you something: time, talent, or a financial resource."
Yeah.
And the time and the talent is just as valuable, especially to your local organizations. If you're not here in Alaska, trust me, there is somebody out there, some resource that needs your time or your talent. And so I think about our development team does such an amazing job of recruiting talent. So we have people that are in the graphic design industry that volunteer to make our pamphlets and our handouts, right? Because they can do that so much better than us. That's a talent they have, and it's a passion they have. I tell people, find the passion you have and then volunteer your time in that, whatever that might look like.
Yep.
Uh, if that could be coming in, we have a chef from a local restaurant that comes in and teaches knife skills and cooking skills in our transitional living programs or in our education services. Like, where's your talent? You can donate your talent. That's what's there. Financial support is always great, but the other really huge is the advocacy component, right? We are always advocating for, uh, you know, change, whether that is at a local, state, or federal level, whether that is changing, outdated laws or fighting back against systemic barriers that might be put in place that might be a challenge for our youth. Advocacy is key, and we can't do it alone in any industry. We need the community support to be able to stand up and say, this feels wrong to me, or this feels really right. Let's make sure it continues.
Where can people find more about your organization specifically? What is the website? Are you guys on socials?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes to both of those. So Covenant House, Alaska, covenanthouseak.org. Or if you just go covenanthouse.org, you will get to the Covenant House International website. That website will give you links and resources to every Covenant House across our federation. So if you're looking for one in your local area, you can easily connect and find them that way as well. On Facebook and Instagram and all of the things as well. If you look at Covenant House, Alaska, AK. Sorry, I should say AK because sometimes people get Arkansas and Alaska confused in our acronyms. And there is not one in Arkansas. So Covenant House, AK. You will find us on there as well.
Love it. I'll leave you with this last question before we start wrapping up, Liz. You've given us so much insight, and just kudos to you, and for just, I would say, doing God's work, right? Living in passion and purpose and not paychecks. And that's what allowed you to get to these places that you have, is that a lot of times people chase paychecks, and it's not the right thing to be chasing. You
Right.
know, when you mentioned I was doing something, I found passion. You
Yes.
know, you found purpose, and that's what allowed you to be where you're at today and have a beautiful family, XYZ. So I love that. So I'll leave you this last question though. When you look at the residents who inspire you the most, what do they teach you about what matters in life?
Oh, that's a good one. Community. Community matters in life. We're not meant to do life alone. And the young people that we serve are looking for a connection, a positive connection, right? They have taught so much as far as resiliency to me, and that like you can go through really difficult times, really hard times, and come out on the other side um, as a thriving adult. Um, but you want to see, they want to be seen, I guess is a better way to put it too, right? And we
Absolutely.
talked about that, like just having that conversation, getting to know somebody, figuring out what their story is. I think that there is stigma and fear in seeing somebody who appears to be homeless, and people don't always engage. That
Mhm.
small engagement, that recognition that they are human and that you see them, is really valuable.
I love that, and that's very true. So true, so true. Liz, I wish we could do more of this, but we got to go because you got things to do. I got things to do. For those that are watching, make sure you guys go ahead and check out Covenant House, Alaska, not Arkansas. Make sure you guys go ahead and connect with Liz Matthews over on LinkedIn. And it's been a pleasure. My name is Ephraim. This is Liz. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Laters.
Bye.